What's up, what it do, what it does, how you doing? It's your boy, somebody you can call me Kags. By the way, how are you doing with this whole thing that we talked about last week? This whole procrastination thing? Honestly speaking, in a scale of 1 to 10, I think I am probably a 4. I'm approaching expectation. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Actually, let's say in a scale of 1 to 10, down in the comments, where do you think you really lie? I was asking myself the same question sometime today. Then I remembered and actually got encouraged when I remembered a story I was told back in high school of an animal called the eagle. The eagle is actually one of the oldest, or rather, yeah, it's actually one of the oldest animals that we have. But it is known for the longest life expectancy in the bird species, because an eagle can live up to around 70 years. But when it's around 40 years, it grows old. Ikiwa 40 inakuwa imechapa. Sasa hapo hiyo eagle ni sponyo ikiwa hapo around 40. And how it knows it's already a sponyo, it's because there are things that it used to do that it can't do anymore, like holding the prey using its claws. The talons become so weak and it can't hold on a prey very well, so the prey keeps escaping. Another thing that happens is that the feathers are no longer favorable to help the eagle fly. And we all know about eagles. Eagles love to fly. They fly high and they fly so fast. So when that does not happen, or rather when the feathers do not allow it to do that, then the eagle's potential is not well met because it's old. Another thing that happens is that its beak starts to bend. And when the beak bends, of course it affects its eating. Yes. So here's the thing. When it's around that 40, it has 2 decisions to make. One decision is to change or to live the way it's living and die and not meet its life expectancy. So what does it do? It has to choose. If it chooses not to change, it of course dies. If it chooses to change, then it has to face the change. And the change is usually one of the hardest and most painful transition ever. The transition is so painful because this is what happens. The eagle flies to the mountains and creates a nest there in the mountains, far away from where it normally dominates. Away, builds a nest and then looks for a rock. When it gets a rock, it hits the beak kwa rock, inachapisha hiyo beak kabisa mpaka hiyo beak inatoka, the old beak. Then it waits. Now you know, of course, when its beak is broken, that means it's not eating. It can't eat anything. So during that process, it's just staying there, waiting for the beak to grow. Once the beak grows, it goes now to the talons. The talons ni hizo kucha zake. On the claws, it removes the claws. I don't know how it removes it. Sijui kama inatoka na mdomo ama with the beak now, ama it hits it on the rock. I don't know the process. But it makes sure that all the talons are out. Another painful. Yani unaimagine wewe umejimua mdomo. Wewe mwenyewe hata kujiuma tu ulimi na kwa gani problem. Hii inang'oa beak yote. Alafu kucha wewe tunahitaji tu cuticles. Tukikutoka unazaga hata hii hata uwezi osha hata vyombo. You can't even sanitize kwa sababu kuingia hapa kwa mkono itakuwa disaster. But now imagine this eagle plucks out the nails and the talons until it's like hivyo. Yani haina manicure, inakaa hivyo bila manicure, pedicure for that long. That means it's still not eating because it uses the talons to catch the prey. Then after the talons are out, it starts to pluck its old feathers. Plucks out its old feathers until they're out. Then it waits. You can imagine all that process that happens. Once it waits, this is the most amazing thing that happens, is that this bird becomes a brand new bird. It has a new beak, It has new feathers that can help the bird fly high and fast, and great talons to help it hold the prey. Look at that whole story. Also us, there are things that we actually need to shed off. That shedding off is very important, but it's painful. It's important but very painful. I know last week tuliongea kuhusu stories za ku start now. For me, that has been a talon that I need to shed off. A talon of procrastination. I don't know which talon is that you decided last week that you need to shed off. But let me tell you one thing and encourage you. After all this process that it's painful, possibly bloody and all that, once you're done, manze, you're gonna fly faster and higher like never before. So don't give up. Don't give up. Manze, let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. Until Monday, tuendelee kubonga. Cheers.